Live music connects us. It's the feeling that you get when the lights go down and you watch your favorite artist walk out on stage. It's the rush that happens when you are standing shoulder to shoulder with complete strangers, singing every word to your favorite song. Those moments don't just happen. It takes millions of people working behind the scenes every day to bring these experiences to life for each of us. In March 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, live music as we know it shut down. And over the next several months, millions of people lost their jobs, livelihoods, and the ability to support themselves and their families. Now, the people who have brought us so much joy and so many memories need our help.
Tell me about prior to March 2020. What did life look like on the road for you?
Life was a dreamland.
Life on the road was great. You know, we just finally started to hit a point where we were like selling out shows, like finally starting to catch a groove.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I feel like we played around 115 to 20 shows.
I mean, I was getting to wake up and do the thing that I love to do the most.
We were rolling. We had a new single out, started working on a new album. Oh man, it's fun.
At the beginning of March, I was actually about to step onto a plane to do our first headlining arena tour in Australia when my manager called me and said, "Don't get on the plane because they're gonna send you right back."
So mid-March 2020, concerts, touring, fairs, festivals, Broadway, an industry that employs 10 to 12 million people a year, it all came to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
When you think back over the last year, how do you feel like you and your band and crew have navigated it?
I don't think that navigating this has been easy for anyone. I think the first few weeks, everyone's just shell-shocked.
Yeah.
I think we're all trying to understand at that point what's happening. I don't think that nobody could see this thing dragging out for a year.
What was that moment like for you when you realized this may go on longer than I initially expected?
I think that moment for me was still denial. I was like, no, surely that can't be. What are we supposed to do now? How are our bands supposed to take care of their families? How are we gonna get creative and come up with ways to still be able to bring music to people?
But my biggest concern was my band and crew. I was kind of just worried about them, like how would they pay their bills? Like there's no way they could go find a job right now that would support them and keep their bills paid with the income that they're used to.
Well, I think so often people think about just the artists, but they don't think about the hundreds of people that are behind the scenes that allow you to do what you do every single night, to get up on that stage and perform for the crowd. Talk just a little bit about those people and what they mean to you.
I think about a very specific guy that I've seen through the years at a certain amphitheater. Man, I watch him throughout the day and he works so hard.
Yeah.
And all those people out in the crowd, they get to reap the benefits of what that guy's backbone did through the whole day. So I think about him and the many like him that I'm so thankful for, because there's no way I could put all that up. And they're trained in their own thing, you know, so it's like without those guys, I don't get to happen.
You need the lighting guy, you need the lighting engineer, you know, you need the stage manager to make sure everything's set up right. You know, last thing you need is a wire out of place. It's little things like that, like people that put so much detail, you know, into everything. How you treat people matters. I hope that in the midst of this that, you know, the crew, local crew, the crew that tours with us feel loved and special, because when people start touring again, you're gonna need those guys.
What I think a lot of people don't realize is that artists make most of their money from touring. And so it's the way artists provide for their band and crew, and then the band and crew being able to provide for their families and have health insurance and put food on the table. And so many people are completely out of work and have lost the ability to be able to pay their bills.
I think our community is really resilient. I think they are so strong in the way of going, we know this is gonna come back around, but that doesn't mean that there's not a gap in the system and not being able to provide for your family, like you're saying, and put dinner on the table. This is a big deal.
You take somebody like me, since I've been 22, all of my eggs have gone into one basket, music. I don't have a resume full of other things that I could just go out and go get some tech job or, and I think it's the same way with production teams, with lighting guys, with sound guys. That's just been their college study, and then they've been working ever since they got out of college just doing this. So it's not like those guys can just easily transition after 20 years of doing one trade. So you're getting that fear, and people are having to get really creative to try to make ends meet.
When you think about venues like Exit In and so many others throughout the country, they haven't had a show in the venue for over a year. They depend on people being in the venue, bar sales, ticket sales in order to survive, and they've still had to pay rent. And I think that we are taking for granted that if they don't get the help that they need, that they're gonna be around.
I think we're taking for granted a whole lot of things. I don't know how else we expect those people to make a living and get by. There's a lot of people that are just barely getting by, and their venue is their livelihood, their bar is their livelihood, their restaurant is their livelihood, and that's all they have, and they got mouths to feed when they get home. So personally, I don't know how this venue or any other venue is still open.
To date, ACM Lifting Lives COVID-19 Response Fund has given away $3.5 million to people within our industry who are struggling that just directly need it. Why is this so important for you to be a part of?
It's important because, like we say, if we're the country music family, family comes together. It's about being there, you know, and that's what ACM Lifting Lives is showing. It's showing that, you know, we're finding ways to help our family members that need it in a tough time, and it's cool to see different people and different organizations that donate to ACM Lifting Lives because they know and they trust that these funds are actually going to people that need it. So it's a beautiful thing to see.
You know, right now, the fund has been depleted because they've given to so many people in need, but there's still a waiting list of more people within our industry that need help. So what would you say to people that are outside of our industry, fans or people that just love music? Why should they give to ACM Lifting Lives COVID-19 Response Fund?
They might not be seeing that their small donation is gonna make that big of an impact, but if we all keep that mentality, then nothing ever happens. So I've seen people's lives directly affected from these donations. I've seen how elated they are when they get that check. A lot of these people, man, they got 4 and 5, 6 kids. There's a lot of people that are very scared right now. So if you're able, whatever it is, I hope that you step up because there's a lot of people that need it right now.
I think I would tell anyone out there to just take a moment and remember how you felt standing at a concert, standing inside of that moment, and what it made you feel like, what it healed in you, what memories it brought up, what people it introduced you to in your life, and think about the incredible people and the mass amount of people that it takes to make that moment happen.
Every dollar that you give to ACM Lifting Lives COVID-19 Response Fund goes directly to someone who needs it. Whether you give $1, $10, or $100, your donation makes a difference. To give, go to acmliftinglives.org. And if you are in the country music industry and you need help, go to acmliftinglives.org to apply for assistance.